All right. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm here in the I'm in the city apartment today. Figured I'd come hang out down in the city for a little while. So here we are. Penthouse view, That's how I
You're at
roll.
New York City?
No, just city.
Just city?
Just city. That's it.
City unknown?
That's right. Correct. So Lana Fuzzland. Oh, that's a good name right there. There you go.
Lana
Lana
in
Fuzzland.
Fuzzland.
I like it. That's good stuff. What's up, Wayne? Hello, Connie. How are you? Nice to see you. So, we decided we're going to try something a little different. Um, Other than, of course, the notorious That Fuzzing 518 show. Um, Lon and I were going to get together and kind of collaborate and do a little thing. Something other than music and local stuff. We are going to. Why don't you tell the people what our little plan is?
We are planning on doing a group show, well, with him and I, and we'll probably invite other people on once in a while too to get your guys' opinion. But it's kind of like we're going to involve a lot of the audience in it because it's going to be not limited to, but a lot about like relationships and stuff. I plan on going on Reddit and reading some of the relationship stuff on there and getting some of like the worst advice, the best advice. Fuzzy's going to weigh in. I'm going to weigh in from a female perspective, and you guys can weigh in because I thought that'd be kind of fun. And just talk about a lot of like relationship things, friendship things, and have fun with it. Be a little insulting sometimes because you got to.
That's right. Life's little thing. We're going to talk about life's little things,
Life's
life's
little
big
things.
things, all that shit stuff. Oop, I forgot kiddos are watching. Sorry, kiddo.
I don't know if she's here. She hasn't responded. My 9-year-old is taking an interest.
So, that being said, we need to come up with a name for this little soiree that we're doing here. So, if you guys have any ideas, I don't know, other than Lana and Fuzzland, because that sounds pretty awesome. We are open to suggestions. It would be pretty cool if you guys could name it. That would be awesome. If not, we'll come up with something clever, I'm sure.
Lana and Fuzzland, I can think of a lot of things Myron could come up with to help us with the logos for that one based off of Alice in Wonderland. Some pretty trippy shit.
That's right.
That'd be amazing.
We're all mad here.
Hey.
Yeah, you like that, right? See?
Hey. Hey.
Oh, my
Myron
goodness.
might be into something.
Yeah, I don't know. The schedule on it, too, is going to be kind of up in the air because we're going to work around like regular life stuff. And so it could possibly be a pop-on thing. I mean, we're gonna go for like once a week, I'm sure. But it might be the days might vary depending on scheduling and et cetera, and all that stuff. Why is my screen small? There we go. I had another window open that I didn't know about. Well, that was kind of hidden on the bottom of the screen, so my screen was smaller and I didn't know why. That's the weird thing. Like, if something is just a little tiny bit off, I'm like Chicken Little. The sky's falling. I'm like, what's going on? Something's wrong. Oh my god! Like, I get really, really like obsessive over it.
Is that with anything in your life, or is that just with like specific?
No,
things?
it's with the show. Like, I always try to make it Fuzzlanacon. I like it. We could have a convention, dude. That'd be sweet. Can you imagine that? What that would look like? Especially if I had to make the dress code. Assless chaps for everybody.
There you go.
No, maybe not. Not every. Maybe not.
I was gonna say everybody. Do you really want to include? Is that something you want to incorporate?
Maybe.
Everybody?
You know what? Why not? Everybody needs to experience that at least once in their life.
I'm all up for body positivity.
That's what
I don't like it. I ain't gotta look at it.
I just don't care, man. You know what I mean? Be who you are. That's all I got. You know what? Be the same person you are inside. Whatever's outside, who gives a shit? I mean, it's if you want to improve yourself outside, knock yourself out. If you're cool with the way you are, I'm cool with the way you are. You know
And
what I
I
mean?
mean, if improving yourself on the outside is wearing assless chaps, then hey, I mean I support that. Sometimes somewhere, don't touch nothing onto anything.
Yeah, that's yeah.
No snail trails.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna say that. Damn. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting for sure. So, all right. So, along the whole lines of like relationship stuff, what let's see, how do I want to put this? And no, I'm not like searching for words. I'm just trying to figure out like where I'm trying to go with this. Social media. Yes, we're gonna get right into shit. So, social media affecting relationships. Do you think it does? Doesn't?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If
In
anybody
how many different ways? Like there's all sorts of different ways.
there's so many different ways. One of the ways that I've noticed, especially for people my age, is nobody wants to fix anything. So instead of talking about stuff, or like if your partner has a fault, you can always everything is so instantaneous nowadays that you can just click on somebody's inbox and be like, hey, what's up? And you're looking at everybody's life from their perspective when you're looking through things. So if somebody says, oh, I have this perfect life, I make all this money, and there's things that are lacking in your relationship over here, but you see this person over here posting that they have that, like it's almost like an instant upgrade. Like it's so easy to quote unquote upgrade your partners without having to work on anything anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just it's I just hear all like I see it a lot on Facebook. I have to go on there to do a lot of stuff for the shows. So it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, not so much because it's really that's not like it's not as interactive, I guess. Um, but well, I mean, TikTok's not or YouTube's not really social media per se, but the stuff that I see just trying to get to show stuff or posting show stuff, and then I have to go back and look and see what I did. I have to cut through like 9,000 different things before I get to what I posted. And some of the shit I see, it's like, dude, like I know you personally. That's not happening in your life right now. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like like a lot of people just lie on there.
They do, and it comes up like I think you and I were talking about it the other day when we went out, like as far as like even the mom guilt that I feel because all these moms right now are going out and doing all these things with their kids, and I'm over here like I can barely like function off of the little bit of sleep I'm getting, and they're always like, oh, we went to the zoo and then we came home and did 5,000 art projects and all this other stuff. And it's like, it was really put in perspective to me with, okay, so for that 15-minute video they had, how much crying and screaming was involved to get the kids to, act the way that you wanted them to act. In that one picture, they were smiling, but how many tears were there before that? How many times did you have to yell? Like social media creates such a huge basis. That's the reason why they have a whole catfish, series, because it's so easy to lie to people about what's going on. And I think that creates a lot of anxiety for a lot of people as well, because you can never live up to everybody else, and everybody's trying to become a social influencer. And when it comes to relationships, like, there's so much, like from a looks perspective, there's so much people that can like the filters and things like that are crazy. And then you meet people and you're like, that's not what I thought you looked like at all.
That's one thing that Snapchat really fucked up for everybody was putting filters on because there's some people out there that take some pictures and it's like that's not really you. Like It's weird how those filters can actually change but they can change their appearance by not changing their appearance. You know what I mean? Like it makes them look a certain way, and then when you see them in real life, you're like, you look nothing like your picture.
Well, it's gonna sound weird, but I don't like using the filters for the simple fact that because as everybody knows, like I have self assurance issues and stuff like that, so I'm very open about that. And when I use the filters, and then like if I turn the camera on and that filter's not on, it actually it makes me feel shitty for the rest of the day because it's like, okay, because that's not what I really look like. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like it creates like I feel like a lot of people are even creating their own illusion in their head of what they look like based off of all these filters and things, and nobody really knows what they themselves look like a lot of times.
And I think, I mean, for the most part, so you put somebody behind a screen, behind a keyboard. Like we're sitting here talking to screens right now. And even though we're talking to each other, literally we're talking to a screen.
Right.
And with social media, it's almost the same. What's up, Boo Dog? Good to see you. It's almost the same with social media where you're interacting with people by typing, but people get giant balls when they're sitting behind a screen, when there's nobody in front of them, but you're still talking to people, and they just start mouthing off and trolling, and they just start picking at people, but they're untouchable because they're typing on a keyboard, and they run their mouth, but what happens when you see these people outside of when you see them in real life? They have no voice. They're all of a sudden they're like little church mice. They don't say nothing. It's like, dude, like weren't you the one just running your mouth saying you're like the biggest baddest thing? I don't.
No, you're right, but on the like retrospect of that, you have the people that are listening to a lot of the people that are spouting off things, and then those people they're hyping other people up that are more aggressive in person, and that's the reason why you have like a lot of these like I'm going to use the masks for instance. We're not going into any of that, but like the people that were going around like attacking people for wearing masks or like attacking like the store clerks for just being like, "Sir, can you wear your mask?" and they just like were like flipping the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like that like social media ramps people up. You find people the same exact views and they all come together and everybody's like, yeah, and then next thing you know, like you have a whole army of people that are agreeing on the same thing, right or not, and it starts chaos. But as you said, usually the people that start the chaos behind the keyboards aren't the ones that are going to actually go out there and do anything about it.
I think there's a certain lack of respect when it comes to typing things to people too. People are nasty. I mean, they get just downright mean for little or no reason. Like it doesn't make sense to me that people just get nasty on there. Like, I don't know. One of the things that drives me nuts is that like you see like sorry, Boodog's just telling everybody he has a small pecker. Okay, good for you, buddy. Shit, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, as far as like, okay, so a married woman takes a picture of herself, say she's somewhere at like a garden or something, in front of like a nice flowering tree or something. So a picture is taken of her and she's in a sundress, let's say. And it's an amazing picture. She looks absolutely wonderful. But some of the comments that go on those pictures are like some of them get disrespectful. Like some of them are genuine. And you see like a wow or a beautiful or well, that's an amazing picture, which are all pretty genuine. But then there's some that are like almost creepy. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, hey mama, or something like something to that effect, or like, well,
As a female, yeah, I
you
definitely,
know, you get what I'm saying though.
yeah,
It's like there's ways of saying things, and then there's ways of saying things, and you can pretty much pick them out.
yeah. Like, there's definitely a tone to how people say things online, and sometimes it gets misconstrued, but like that whole conversation I was talking to you about the other day that was in my inbox, like he was just very like, oh, I'm a very open person. And it's like, that's not being open though. You're trying to convince me that what you're saying isn't supposed to be taking in the context that I'm taking it. And that's completely what you mean by it. Like, yes, you're typing to me, but I also have, you can feel the room during social media interactions as well. Like,
Right.
it's not that hard to read the room. Like, if you're sitting here, not only that, but he sent me a picture earlier with his, earlier in the year with his stuff wrapped in a flag. So obviously you're not just trying to be open. You're at this point, I'm asking you to please not talk to me like that. I'm willing to have a conversation. And then you're sitting there telling me that I'm small minded, like that I'm not open minded. No, I just don't want to hear about it. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, and when you have, as you said, when you set the scene for like a female just pretty much living her life, and especially if she's married, like some of those comments come off as very almost condescending. And then, especially when they're in a relationship, or and there's been times where like I've posted pictures of like me and my significant other online, and I've had people literally get like on my picture say, oh, is he gay, or saying all these negative things about him.
That's
And it's
exactly what
like,
I'm talking about. Like it gets nasty. Like
why do you need to be like, first off, yes, because I'm a male. First off, like, he's with me, but yeah, that's fine. But it's also like, there's no reason, if you don't like who I'm with, then move along. Like, my relationship has nothing to do with you at all.
exactly.
And you saying nasty things to me about him is just gonna make me not like you. It's not gonna be like, oh, you know what? Yes, you know what? I think he is gay. Let me come over to your house later tonight. That sounds like a great idea.
Exactly. You know what? Yeah, exactly. Just made you realize something out of the blue, like, oh hey, maybe you're right.
Oh, I like that name, the Fuzzy Sushi Show.
Oh,
You
there
can do
you
a
see
lot of
that?
imagery
That's
with that
why
too.
that's why he is my executive producer. See? I think he's jealous that we're doing another show. We're doing another show and he's not producing it, so he's got to jump in. And by the way, no, it's not a curtain. I'm in the city studio, EPD. I moved down to the city studio for a couple days, There we go. Yeah, I don't know. So let me ask you this. You being a female, how many times a week do you get pictures of unsolicited peni? Is that what a bunch of them would be? A flock
Penises.
of peni?
Flock of peanut. Are they
How many
flocks?
how many times a week do you get unsolicited? Not that you would sit there and solicit them anyways, but like how many times you just all of a sudden open, you're like, "Ooh, who's this?" And all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
So imagine that I'm just sitting here and somebody's just throwing hot dogs at me.
That many?
I get quite a few. Like, it might not be weekly, but they seem to all come at once. And it's like, I think the thing that sucks is sometimes like it might be somebody that I connected with on a friendly level. Like, like we've been talking for a while, things are cool. And then all of a sudden one day they'll just send me something like that. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this friendship's over. Like,
That
if that's what
sucks
you
too.
were after, like, you should have just made that clear from the beginning, because I would have cut this right off. Like, I wouldn't have spent, time consoling you after, XYZ happened, if this was your end game, because there is no end game for that. But yeah, I get them quite frequently. Now Facebook does have a nice little feature though, that if something is inappropriate even in messages now, it'll give me a thing that covers it, and it'll be like, this may be content you don't want to see, would you like to see it, and you have to click yes or no
In your private
in
messages?
my private messages. Yep, because I get videos. I get a lot of videos. You think the pictures are bad? I get a lot of videos from
Wait,
guys.
so they're actually viewing your private messages first.
Let me see. Let me see.
They're like scanning your mess. That's a little weird to me.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Facebook is in your messages and stuff all the time anyways. Like that's just what it is at this point. Let's see.
Just seems a little odd. I don't know. That's weird.
And then, of course, I have the people, you know, that I don't reply to and haven't since like 2017, and they're still like, "Hey, sexy, hey, sexy, what's going on? Hey, hi, why aren't you
So
talking?"
when you let me ask you this: when you don't answer them, do they all of a sudden be like, "You're a fucking bitch" and like all that shit?
I have, or I may have talked about this on one of your shows, wildly inappropriate, but I had one guy that sent me a picture, and my daughter was standing behind me in
Right.
my car, and I was just going through my Facebook messages, and it said, "Hey," so I opened it, and there it was,
Oh
and
no!
I was like, she didn't see anything,
Thank
but I
God.
said, "Can you please not send that to me because you know my daughter was in the area, like, and if you wouldn't do it to somebody in public, don't be in people's inboxes doing that."
Right.
And all of a sudden, he's like, "You're nothing but a fucking bitch. You must like little boys." And I said, "You're exposing yourself to people. Would you go down on the street and just open your coat up to anybody?" I said, "You'd get arrested for it." And he's like,
Better
"I
be
was a
careful. He
cop.
might. He might
I
do
was a
it. You don't
cop in
know.
Florida for 20 years, and that's not illegal." I said, "Then you were a shitty cop because and didn't know your laws." I said, "Because that is absolutely illegal."
Wow.
So he was like, "I'm going to hack into your Facebook and I'm going to put porn all over and I'm going to make people hate you." And then he told me that he was going to use his resources to find my house, tie up my kids, rape me, and murder me. I was a little bit shaken after that conversation
What a nice fella.
because you know, like, all because I didn't want a penis picture. Or I do get the people where, like, you know, they'll be like, "Hey, hey, hi, hi," and then they'll be like, "Oh, I guess you don't want to talk," and I still won't respond, and then they're like, "You're not that pretty anyways, you're a fat fucking whore," blah, blah. And it's like, all right, then why are you in my inbox 15,000 times? Like,
Why do you want to talk to me so bad, dude? Like, so I know that, I mean, you and I have talked extensively about a whole bunch of different topics over the course of our friendship, and I have never ever once sent you anything like a dick pic. Um, but live on stream, I'm gonna send you a picture of my dick pic. Can I?
sure, why not? If everybody gets to see it, there you go. That is a dick pic. That is a fine dick you got
That's a
there.
fine dick pic, sir.
That is the best dick pic, and it's black.
Those are
I like it.
those are acceptable. Those are acceptable dick pics. Like I don't get like like women are just wired differently because I don't get like inundated with pictures of downstairs, you know what I mean? Or upstairs for that matter. Not that I want them. I'm not saying I want them, but like it's just you guys seem to be wired differently. You know what I mean? Like it seems to me that I just from what I hear from women all the time that just guys send them pictures of their dicks all the time. And it's like that doesn't I don't know, it's weird.
I think the whole fact that that's the way people think that they should be getting people is weird. Like, you know, I'm not a fish. You're not gonna wiggle your line in my face and I'm gonna bite. Like, that's not how this works.
Trolling for yeah. Well,
Do you want me to tell you it looks nice? Like, do you want me to be like, "Hey, man, nice shit"? Like, do you want me to compliment? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, if you were to send a dick picture to somebody, what kind of response would you be looking for? Like, really, like, as a guy, like, what do you think their thought process is just randomly sending them? Like, do they want me to tell them the shape is nice? Do they want me to tell them that it looks like they have gonorrhea? Like, what are they looking for from me?
I don't know. Is that thing looking for ants? I don't know what to I don't know.
How
I
many
have
ants can
no
you suck up with that thing?
I have no idea, but like, is it like? I mean, I don't think women are just like getting those pictures and be going, "Oh yeah, I gotta have that." Like,
No, and
I
that's the whole thing. Like, and
I
and
don't.
and it's different if you ask for one. Like, if you're interested in somebody and you're like, yeah, send me that picture. Like let me, because at that point, usually you've connected or you're interested in that person. Like, if you're sending me a dick pic unsolicited, how many times, like, how many people got that same picture? You know what I mean? Like, that's funny.
Yeah, but then there's this. See, then there's this comment.
See, that's the mean people that we were talking about. Those mean comments for no reason.
That's my executive producer. What a
Ugh,
bastard.
you're
I don't know.
ridiculous.
I hear that all the time. Like that's all that's going on in the inbox is like is pictures of that shit. I just think it's fucking stupid to be honest with you. Like I don't understand. Like you said, I don't understand what the draw is of that. Like I don't understand why guys think that that's gonna like chicks are gonna be like, oh that you know what? I've got 30 of those pictures today. That's the one I want right there.
Not
Like
only that, but if it's unsolicited, most likely I have thousands of friends on my Facebook because I try to promote my channel and stuff like that. So
right.
I take in a little bit of everybody. So I probably have never looked really closely at your profile, so I don't even know what the face that's attached to this dick looks like. Like, you could be a 600-pound man, you could be a female that just has male genitalia, which that's fine. I'm okay with that, but I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, I need a whole picture before I get a zoomed in account.
I have some strange friends, let's put it that way.
uh, I
Yeah,
told
like
Athena to log off. I know at the beginning of this, I was like, my 9-year-old is watching. She logged off a long time ago, just so
okay, good.
everybody doesn't think I'm a terrible mom.
I just thought of that. I'm like, oh shit, the kid might be watching. So what like okay, so do you think that social media makes it easier to cheat?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why is that?
Because everybody's right there. Like you don't have, like back when my grandma cheated. Well, my grandma didn't cheat. Actually, my funny story. My grandfather was a milkman. You had to wait for the milkman to show up to your house. Nowadays, I can just click on an inbox or swipe right on somebody. I don't have to wait for the milkman. I don't have to, chat anybody up. I can just be like, "Hey, DTF," and they'll be like, "Yeah, sure," and I'll be like, "Okay, I'll meet in the alleyway in 20 minutes." If you get bored with your partner, like it really is just that. Especially for females, it is so easy for females to just be like, "Hey,"
Oh, it's a lot easier for females than it is for males.
very much so.
I mean, you can have a guy walk into a bar and say, I want to get laid, who's in? And
People are gonna be like, "Ew," and then you have a female that
he
comes
may
and
get a
doesn't
couple
even.
of takers, but a woman walks into a bar and says that, and almost every guy in a bar is going to jump at the chance.
You don't even need to say anything. I can just lift my shirt up and be like, "Okay." I mean, not me personally. I'm
No,
not that
I
full of
understand.
myself, but
Yeah.
like, it's like, "Oh, boob, sure, yeah, let's go." I don't know if that says something for us or if it says more about your guys, your side of things.
Yeah, well, my side of things is always a little weird, but um, here's another thing I noticed too is that, and this one's kind of funny. It's pathetic, but it's funny. So you'll see a girl post on Facebook. She'll say, um, "I'm heartbroken. I can't believe I just spent 3 years of my life and with this guy and he cheated on me and blah blah blah." Like, I mean, first of all, I hate that people post that to begin with, male or female. But I mean, it happens, so of course people are gonna, do what they do. But you'll see, like, I'm heartbroken and I can't believe I wasted 3 years of my life and he cheated on me and I'll never trust anybody again. And then I immediately go and look in the comments. because the amount of like they should actually have like water stations in these comments for the thirsty motherfuckers that go in there because it's so bad. It's like you read one comment like, "Oh, you chose the wrong guy," and then like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. If you need to chat, hit me up." Like these guys are just like trying to grab something with a net. They're just like, "Oh, there's a single one. Let's get out." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there is some genuine, like, but again, it all depends on the relationship with the person. Like, if I were to say something like that and you were to be like, oh, hey, if you need
What's up,
anything, like,
Scott?
let me know. Like, that
Right.
would be different than, most of the other people that were commenting on it. But you're completely right. They'll be like, or you'll get like the really nasty comments from guys that, I've rejected in the past or haven't talked to, and they'll be like, oh, well, you could have had me, blah, blah, blah. But people also run with things too, because like when I was having issues with my son, I had put up a status that was like not really like revealing anything because we weren't really sure of anything yet, but it wasn't notably about him because
Right.
again, we didn't like really know anything. And I had people like saying weird stuff on that, and I had to take it down because I'm like, this doesn't even have anything to do with my relationship. Like, I don't want my son to be like connected with you weird ass people saying some weird ass stuff, because
Yeah. Right.
like that is not why I'm heartbroken. I'm sorry, but men don't really buy. No offense, but buy.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the genuine. There are genuine ones, but you can see like the ones that are doing it because like I always look at the comments. I'm just like I have to see who's doing what, and like you can see like the same guys that are in other girls' comments doing the same thing
Exactly.
say it to every single one of them. Like, okay, you're not that nice of a guy to be consoling every one of them. That's not genuine, dude. I know it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
There's a whole thing that I'm a part of, a whole group on Facebook that I'm a part of, and it's called I'm a Nice Guy, You Fucking Bitch. And it's just women posting screenshots of guys, them being like, I'm not interested in going out for drinks. Or the ones that really drive me nuts are the ones where they went out on a date and then she lets him know, like, the women in these scenarios are usually very nice about how they project themselves. They're like, oh, I'm not really like, interested in you. Like there was one girl that was like, the guy got a hold of her and he's like, I'd really like to go back out with you again. Sometimes I enjoyed myself. And she was like, I just didn't feel a spark with you. Like, I think, if you want to talk through here or be friends, I'm cool with that, but I'm not interested in seeing you again. And he was like, you need to pay me back for the fucking drinks. You wasted my goddamn time. You can go slut it up with other people. But like just went off on her and like
Wow.
probably like 15 different messages. And I'm like, she didn't like, that's the other thing with social media. It makes people feel like there should be an automatic connection with people, or that they should be able to get things right away, and that if they don't get what they want, something's owed to them. Like I know a lot of women who have slept with men that they didn't really feel like sleeping with because they felt like they were obligated to, just because
Wow.
it happens a lot because of things like that. Because I've been out on dates where people are like, oh, so I'm not getting none, and I'm like, no, why? And they're like, well, I just bought you dinner. And it's like, I didn't know I was a prostitute for food, but this conversation is over. You're blocked now.
It's like,
Like,
yeah, but Wendy's got my order wrong. Big spender. Yeah, like I don't know. I gotta switch over. I gotta switch over to my other desk. Hold on, I'll be with you in 2 seconds.
Fuzzy disappeared.
No, I just switch over to my other desk. Sun's going down. I
Got
just
awfully late real quick.
I just switch over to my other desk. Um, what the hell was I gonna say?
Oh, I'm not trying to
Uh,
shit on everybody here either. Like, I'm not like, oh, I hate men, feminism, woo. Like,
no, I'm all for shitting on people when they deserve it. You know what I mean?
Women are shitty too. Women, I know I have friends that will go out with guys just specifically. They'll go out with like 4 or 5 different people and lead them all on because they get free meals 5 days out of the week.
Well,
That's shitty to do.
that is pretty shitty. Oh, so as far as like the entitlement thing goes, I think guys like I don't know, guys are pretty easily appeased. Like if some chick accepts his friend request, I think they put more emphasis on that than what it is. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, this girl wants me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think guys' minds to some extent think like that.
Like the reward system goes off when something like that happens.
Yeah, like wow, she accepted my friend request. I never thought because but in the old days you had to walk up to a girl and start talking to her. If she didn't want to talk to you, then it was clear the answer was no. But if she was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" and started talking to you, then you were like, I'm not going to say like in, but you were in with her. You could talk to her and spark up a conversation. Then you have a drink and like that. I think that kind of took the place of the girl starting to talk to you in the first place. Is
Yeah,
the
and you
friend
don't get
request being accepted?
you don't get a feel for things either now. Like, as you said back then, like you'd approach somebody and they might talk to you, but you'd get the kind of general gist that they weren't interested in the way you wanted them to be. But now it's like you don't get that. You don't get that through a screen. You can't sit there and, type that feeling out. That's another thing. Like when people are typing things out to each other, I read everything negatively most of the time. And people will
Right.
be like, I didn't mean it like that because that's how my mind works. And I know that's how my mind works. So I often ask questions to make sure I am deciphering the conversation the way it should be, like the tone of the conversation.
Yeah.
So you don't have that anymore. It's like, hey, and you're like, hi, and then you guys start talking, and people do, and the females do the same thing, like, oh, I thought he really liked me, and it's like, why? You guys had like a 10-minute conversation about his cat. Like, why would you think, like, not to be mean or anything, but why would that lead you to believe that that's, but it's because that's the way that person perceived that conversation because there's no tone to it.
Right. And yeah, you're right, Scott. Etiquette is needed, but like it's few and far between these days. It seems like on Facebook, it's like a free for all, sort of, sort of, anyways.
Social media is like a relationship buffet. You can take your pick of what you want. You have your players, you have your ballers, you have the ones that have a bunch of 20s spread out, and that's probably the only money they made that month, that whole entire year, and it's December 15th, but that's fine because right then and there they have, a whole $150. What?
I'm leaking blood everywhere.
You're leaking blood everywhere.
Huh. That might be one you want to go check on.
She's fine. What did you do?
Blood everywhere.
There's not blood everywhere. It's a bloody nose. You're fine. Go have Cody give you a ice pack for your nose. And you're gonna need a lot more toilet tissue. Here, I found tissues.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Hat change time.
Make sure you close my door, please. I told you. Pop-up shows have pop-up kids.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pop-up kids.
Let's say pop up at your door 18 years later and say, hey, Dad.
Like I said, as long as they got good content, they can pop in whenever they want.
Well, that one was bleeding. That's pretty good content.
Yes, that was good content. I'll admit that, absolutely.
But yeah, so like it's just like a whole buffet of what do you want today? Like, do you want this guy over here that has tons of money? Do you want this guy over here that, likes to hike and bike and do outside? From a girl's perspective, especially, it's pretty much a free for all when it comes to, like, you reach out to somebody and you say, oh, I see you like hiking. Would you like to go on a hike with me? And then, you go do that one day and then you can ask for a totally different thing from another guy another day. And you have like a whole month of activities planned that you don't have to pay for most of the time.
Right.
But again, it also comes with the fact that a lot of times they assume that you owe them something. And that's not okay either. Like, everybody is using everybody for something. Like, I feel like there's never pure intent behind anything anymore. I'm always questioning people.
Do you think that Tinder made Facebook worse?
Yes, because people started treating Facebook like Tinder. Like, the lines crossed very much so. And the difference with Tinder and Facebook is Facebook can give you a play-by-play of people's everyday lives. And if you find somebody on Tinder that you want to know more about and you can match a picture if they don't use their real name, or even if you get their real name, because that's one of the things when you first start talking to somebody on Tinder, it's like, oh, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll be like, oh, do you have a Facebook? Then you can kind of look into them more. And I feel like that causes obsessions to become more, because you can find out a lot from people's Facebooks, like what they like. And you don't have to have the same conversations with them that you would through Tinder normally, because you just got all of your questions answered right there from their timeline. Don't ever Tinder, Scott.
Yeah, Scott. Oh, yeah. I went on Tinder a couple times, and I don't know. I'm just not like a catalog shopper either. I feel like it's kind of creepy to me to sit there and be like, oh yeah, oh no, oh yeah, no. Like, I don't think finding a woman's catalog shopping, but then again, you're also, when you're looking on Tinder, you're not really looking for someone to bring home to mama. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really the hookup kind of person. I mean, I don't know. Sex is great, but I'm not really like the one and done kind of guy. You know what I mean? Never really have been, but that's
I
just
used to be in my 20s, but I don't trust nobody anymore, though. Like, I don't want nobody in my, like, especially now that I have kids. Like, I have little girls that are watching me now. Like, they deserve to have somebody that's here and not in and out. Like, I absolutely refuse to accept anybody that's going to be in and out of my kids' lives.
right.
And I need to keep them safe as well as teach them, like, if you want to have a high body count, that's fine. Like, if you want to go ahead and, females should be able to do the same exact thing men do and not be shamed for it. But I would prefer better for my kids if they decide to do that later on. That's fine, but they're not going to learn that behavior from me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to shame them for wanting to do that. Some people aren't relationship people. That's fine. I have no issues with that. But that's not going to be learned from my end of things. Like, I went through that in my 20s. I'm too old to try to keep up with people's lies. I don't like sitting there looking through Facebook and then, like, I remember, I don't know if you've ever had a relationship like that where all of a sudden you can start seeing things weird and then there's just that one thing that strikes a nerve and it, like, makes you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach and you're like, oh shit, here we go. And, like, you just know things are going to fall apart or that they're doing something they shouldn't be. I don't have time for all that anymore.
No, I'm too old for that shit.
And herpes is a gift that keeps on giving. I don't want that gift. That ain't something I want. And a lot of people have that shit. And a lot of people don't care that they're just, like, giving it to everybody. And it's gross. And I just...
Yeah, well, they probably got it for somebody that didn't tell them.
Right.
So now it's, it's half of a don't give a fuck, half of a revenge thing. Like, well, fuck it. I'm going to give it to somebody now.
Which is so messed up because... Not even to get on, like, a serious topic, but, like, that guy over there didn't give it to you, so why are you gonna give it to him? Let's go ruin his life. And then I like the ones that find out guys have girlfriends and they know that they have something, and then just to prove that the guy's cheating, they give them something, so they take it home to their girlfriend.
Yikes.
There's some crazy bitches out there, man.
Yeah, I think that, well, I'm speaking from a guy's perspective. Like, me personally, if a girl I was with cheated, I'm not going to want to beat the shit out of the guy.
You blame the girl that you're in a relationship
and I know that's
with.
No, obviously I'm not going to beat the shit out of the girl either, but, like, I'm going to be mad at her. I'm not going to be mad at him.
Right.
because he probably didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if he's just like, I knew all about you, well, then okay, game on. Now you're in trouble, you know. But
Exactly.
for the most part, I don't, I'm going to be mad at her. Like, especially, I mean, it depends. I don't know. It's not like, I don't know how to say this without offending everybody, but like, I don't know. Some chicks are just dirty like that. You know what I mean? Like but then when they get caught, it's like they try to play a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't want to offend anybody, but
No,
I've just seen
females.
that scenario play out, and it's like no, you were the one that initiated that. How is it that you? How is it that you're the one that's like, oh, what was me? Like, no, you were like you kind of brought that on yourself, you know?
Well, I've seen plenty of women go after married men or go after non-single men that have been in long-term relationships or have a pregnant girlfriend at home or whatever, just because they can, to prove to themselves that they can. I've also seen females go after people when they themselves are in relationships and the whole thing is, oh, he treats me terribly, I can't leave. And really, like, I know people that have been treated fantastically by their men and they're telling the other guy this. And it's like, why would you tell him that? Like, that's not how it really is. Besides, like, it just, I don't know. Like, why do you have to do that? Like, if he's that terrible to you, then leave. But he's not. That's the reason why you stay. So that you just want your cake and eat it too.
I was just gonna say the cake and eat it too scenario. Yeah. Wait, what does that say? What is Mr. Majunk saying? I love his name, by the way.
Where did people get the idea that monogamy is the be all end all anyways? All it does is foster jealousy and resentment. Some people do like monogamy though. Like, I could not be a polygamous person. Like, I would get jealous. Like, I know how I am in relationships. What's not what's mine is mine, because I don't like to say that, like, I don't own anybody. If you and I were in a relationship and you decided to run off with somebody, that's kind of on you. Like, I don't own you. Though your actions are going to have consequences, but I don't own you. So go ahead and do what you're going to do, but you're going to find your shit out on the porch when you get home. You know what I mean? But I could not be in a polygamous relationship. That's just not how I am. Like, I know people that can be. That's how they prefer it.
I couldn't do it. I've always been a one-on-one person. But like, if you want to, I mean, if I was with you 10 years and like you want to go out and do your thing with somebody, then leave me first. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you for it. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But don't do this shit behind my back. Just leave. Just go. Like, you know?
That's what I tell everybody I've been in a relationship with. Like, everybody gets a one-shot deal. And I know this probably is going to have like terrible things that people are going to say, but if somebody goes out that I'm in a relationship with and they get extremely drunk, for instance, and some girl starts talking to them and they end up going home with them, and I'm not going to be happy about it, but you're in a circumstance that, or like if we get in a really, really huge fight and then you decide to go do that and then you feel bad about it, if you tell me about it that one time, as soon as it is done and over with and we discuss it, you're going to have restrictions. I'm not going to be all up in your stuff. Like, I'm not going to be questioning you because I'm not here to be your mom. But there's going to be discussions to be had. If you want to be with somebody or you decide to go back to that same person, especially, because there's cheaters that cheat just because that's what, they like the thrill of it. And then there's cheaters that cheat because they're in love with somebody else. And that's when they keep going back to that person. Like, there's two different types. You know what I mean? So there's circumstances surrounding, like, if I will accept a one-time rule thing. But if you call me, like, at least have the decency, if you're going to cheat on me, to like call me on the phone before it happens and be like, hey, I want to let you know I found this person, we really clicked. All right, cool, I'll pack your stuff up, you can grab it on your way. Like, if you love me in any way, shape, or form, you will have the respect to do that for me, to let me know. Am I going to be upset? Am I going to yell at you? Am I going to cry? Yeah, probably, but it's disrespectful to do it any other way than that. You don't do that to people.
Yeah, you're like, I'll pack your stuff. You'll notice it right away. It's the stuff that's on fire in the front yard.
Yeah. There's some
I
dog
didn't
shit
see,
mixed in.
but I differ in that opinion because there's no one shot with me. Like you don't get a free pass on one. Like once that trust is broken, I'm done. Like I'm just done.
As I said, it's very circumstantial with me. It's not like one of those things where he like if Cody met somebody at work and was like got close to them and then decided to sleep with them and tell me after, like that would be an issue for me.
Hi.
Hi.
It's starting to bleed even better, even though it's calming down.
What did you do?
She didn't do anything. Just started bleeding out of nowhere.
Why are you guys bleeding all over today?
I
This
don't
is the
know.
second nosebleed we had. Eliza hit this one in the face earlier, and she was gushing
my.
everywhere.
I
Stop blowing it.
had a blood clot. That's how bad it was.
You wanted content from them if they
And
had
there
to
it
show
is.
up. Here it
Hey.
is.
Blood is content. That's for sure.
Stop blowing it. If you stop, it's not even that bad.
Well, it was.
And Boodog and Scott, I did see your comments. We're gonna get back to them in a minute.
I'm being
Because y'all are nasty.
I'm helping her out. Come on.
What about the comments?
Well, that's what we were talking about.
I made a face at that one because that one's gross.
We're talking
Close
about
my
herpes
door,
and all that
please.
stuff. So, yeah, free food. Boodog, you nasty, bro. And yeah, Scott, that's yeah. Little cream, get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? What else do we miss here? Scott said he's picky about. I am too, and to a certain extent, I'm worse now. Like I don't want no drama, no bullshit. Like I'm just too old for all that gameplay and shit. I just want somebody I can hang out with, be like a fucking best friend and romantic at the same time. And I know that's like finding unicorn these days, but I'm not like, I just don't have the time or patience for like dating and picking this one and that one and finding. You know what? If it shows up, whatever. If I die alone, whatever. I'm just at that point where I'm just like, I could just care less at this point.
I got to a weird point, and it's when I hit 30, I think, where it's like, I don't know, 30 was just my year. Like, I was freaking out about hitting it and everything, but it came to a point where it's like, I started cutting friends off that were toxic. I started cutting family off that was toxic. And when it came to relationships, if I have to wonder who you're talking to, if I get that feeling like I have to start going through your phone or anything like that, like I'm kind of done, at that point, because I don't want to have to question anybody. I don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. Like I want peace at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Because, and this is going to sound very like I'm an independent woman, but I am an independent woman. Like I can pay my own bills. I can take care of my own kids. I can do all that. Like if I'm choosing to be with I don't have to be with the person I'm with. I'm choosing to be with the person I'm with. And if you make it so you're not a good choice, I don't have to be. I can be by myself. I don't have to be with somebody.
I can say this for the first time. I'm drawing a pretty fine pension right now, so
I mean, hey,
I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Come on over.
Oh yeah, dude. I left the belt back in the studio in Albany, EPD. So I'll have to drive back from the city and get it. If we're gonna fight for the title belt, I'll have to drive back from the city and get it. I'm gonna push this like this is real. I'm telling you. It's all about connecting with someone. If it happens, it happens. You'll know. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, if you have that spark, and it's like, you're just kind of open your eyes. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Now, here's a question for you. What if you have a spark while you're with somebody else while you're in a happy relationship? What do you do about that? Because it
If I'm gonna have,
happens.
you know what? If I'm in a happy relationship, I guarantee I'll never get that spark.
I
I'm
don't know.
faithful. I'm painfully loyal.
You can be painfully loyal though and still end up connecting well with somebody else though. Like maybe not like to the point where like you really want to take it to, but just like that fact, like if you weren't with somebody, you could definitely connect with this person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sicko, what's up, dude? Yep, exactly. Leave it alone. No spark. That's right. That's what
I
I
don't
think.
agree with that.
That's what I think too. I don't think with me. There's really not a possibility of a spark if I'm happy with somebody.
I'm not talking, as I said, like I'm not talking about like a romantic spark. It's just one of those things like if you weren't with like somebody you connect with, like you can make connections with people in all different kinds of ways. I said spark. I didn't mean it like not one of those sparks where it's like, oh, I got to be with this person, like when you
Right,
first
right.
start a
Okay.
relationship, but like one of those things where it's like, I vibe with this person. I could see my like if something were to happen or if I wasn't with this person, like I could see myself dating this person. It doesn't have to be something like where you're gonna go cheat or like you need them in that way, but like you just have that like that vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad vibe to have even when you're in a relationship. It's just one of those things like, oh, like this person's really cool. Like if I was in a like they would be somebody that I would be compatible with if I wasn't with somebody else. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it makes sense, but I've never had that happen. I think because I just think it's the way I'm wired. You know what I mean? Like if I'm with somebody I'm happy with, I'm like I don't think of anybody. I don't think of being with anybody else. If that makes any sense. Like I don't think of people as like, oh, I could totally like. I mean, yeah, the vibe is there. You can feel a certain vibe and stuff like that.
Like what?
But
Because I feel like there's something hard.
But
And
I will talk to you guys about this in a little bit. Go.
Okay.
You have an adult out there with you that can adult just as well as I can adult.
Okay, come on, laugh with her.
You're not dying. I love you both. You
they're
drive me
so
nuts.
cute.
No, they're not. Take them away. Well, that's another thing. Open relationships. Like people think that open relationships are weird. I'm like, whatever works for you. I could never be in an open relationship. I feel like open relationships are also different than polygamy. Polygamy means you're actually in relationships with everybody. Open relationships are like you can just go do
You're with
whatever,
one
whenever.
person, but you go out and do whatever with anybody.
She thinks she's going to bleed out. She's not actually going to bleed out. And then she's all like, I have this hard thing in my nose. And I'm like, it's a blood clot. We just went through this with your sister earlier. Like,
That's
go
right.
take your crap someplace else.
It's gonna stop it from bleeding at this point. Leave it alone.
I'm a nurse. If you're not, if a limb's not missing, if you're not
That's
dying, if you're
right.
not turning blue, you're fine. You're absolutely you're perfect. You're great.
Yeah, I don't get. You know what? I don't get open relationships. I don't understand them because I've never been in that situation, and I don't like. I would never want to. Like, I don't. I wouldn't want to share my chick with anybody. Like, even if she was like, "Well, let's bring another girl," that
Oh, so
whole
all that
thing.
talk, all that threesome talk is a no go for you?
Listen, I've been there before, and this is not like a flex or anything, but like I've been there before, and it does nothing but damage your relationship. It really does.
Every single person I have talked to that said it really wasn't either as good as they thought it was going to be, or that it caused major issues, especially but there was a lot of women that because it's mostly two women and one male,
Right.
right? And most of the ones I've known of. But the problem becomes a lot of times that either the female brought in a friend that was going to be a constant in their circle, or they brought in somebody and the male decided to keep in touch with that person, which is not okay. Like if you're going to do something like that and you're going to bring somebody else into your relationship like that, like you need to have some very clear cut boundaries about who it's going to be, who gets to pick the person, what's allowed in the bedroom, and if they're allowed to keep contact afterwards. Because, as I said, people that brought their friends in, it ruins friendships, it ruined the relationship, and everybody ended up with a whole lot of nothing at the end.
See, but even with the boundaries in place, it still has drastic effects. I'll give you the example, and I hope to Christ she's not listening. I'm not going to give names, obviously, but by the scenario I described, she'll know.
She'll know.
There were all sorts of boundaries set in place. Everything was like agreed to. And so when it happened, I kind of gravitated towards the other girl because it was new. I was young too, but like because it was new. So it was different. And it was like, you're kind of like exploring the whole new girl thing. Well, she got mad at that. And I'm like trying to explain to her, like, but I know you.
Right.
This was like new territory, like Lewis and Clark, let's go exploring. But that led to the end of the relationship. Because clearly that she wasn't enough for me. And I didn't think that was fair. Like, at the time I was mad. I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck you. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't think it was fair that, like, when I thought about it as I got older, I'm like, that was not fair.
That's not fair. And I think, especially because you said you were younger, right?
Yes.
So I think part of the issue with that is younger people don't tend to know really what they want. And as females, like, I'm very self-conscious. So if I were to do that, I would, even if I agreed to it and everything went fine in the moment, I would be sitting there and I know that I'd be asking my significant other, well, especially like when I got upset with him or if I was having a bad image day, I'd be like, oh, was she better than me? Do you want to bring her back? You know, like, I would get mad about the situation, even though it was something all of us agreed to. And even if I was the one that brought the female in, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're trying to keep your man happy, first off, and that's exciting for a lot of younger people.
Right.
But in the moment of doing it, I think a lot of people don't realize the effect it's going to have seeing your partner with somebody else. Like, you can sit there and fantasize about it all day long, but actually seeing it go on is different. And then we're not aware of our own feelings. Like, she didn't keep her feelings in check. She didn't explore her feelings on how it was during that, like, beforehand, and how she really felt about it. So she held her feelings against you, and you're right, that's not fair, because that's exactly what it was. It was a projection of her feelings onto you. Like, she could have said something to you in the moment, or she could have been like, I want this to be more about me than her, like, but again, you were young, and she probably didn't realize that it was going to have the type of effect.
And at the time, I didn't realize it either. I would have probably done things differently then. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't realize I was doing it. It was just kind of like a heat of the moment thing. You know what I mean? Oh, and by the way, Mr. Majunk, I know a guy that's got really good streaming equipment that can handle that job, by the way. Nice 3-camera shoot. Inside joke, he'll get it. And this one right here I wanted to talk about too. As far as the open relationship goes, I get it, but like the emotional friendship thing from a guy's perspective, 6 cams now, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
One for each hole.
Oh.
On 2 girls.
Yeah, true. I had to do the math real quick for a minute. So this emotional friendship thing, all right? That is like, that has an effect on relationships too. Boodog, what's your question, bro? Go ahead and type it out. Let me hear it. This emotional friendship thing is an issue in relationships too. Because it's like, because you're telling this person intimate details of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can get insecure about that shit. Like, I wouldn't want the girl that I was with talking to some dude about our relationship in intimate details. An emotional friendship like that, if you're calling it an emotional friendship, it's going to be a friendship where they're talking about shit like that. That's what I'm just assuming.
Yeah, but I don't exactly find that to be an issue though either. Like for me personally, because for me personally, like I hang out with mostly guys. If I'm
Right.
having an issue, like my friend Esther is my best friend. Like I talk to her about literally everything. My significant other knows this. Like he knows that she probably knows things about him that she shouldn't.
But that's a girlfriend. That's different.
But I've had guy friends though that I've talked to the same way to get a guy's perspective on things as well, because sometimes you need that perspective. Or I've had guy friends like before the relationship I'm in now that I've been friends with long before my relationship developed. So am I supposed to just drop them off the face of the earth to and like close in my emotional boundaries with them because I'm in a new relationship? Like that's not fair to our friendship either.
No, definitely not.
And I've been, as you know, I've been in that position very, very recently. So,
But the emotional friendship thing, it's like, I guess it depends on how far this emotional friendship goes.
well, you have people that give their friends hugs all the time, and you have females or males that will freak out about that. Like, I hug you all the time. Like, when I see you, you get a big hug before you leave. You get a big hug when I see you. Like, we talk about emotional stuff going on in our lives, things like that. That could be emotional cheating to some people. Like the stuff you and I talk about could very much be emotional cheating.
Well, our hugs are strictly business because my contract says that I get a hug before when I arrive and when I leave. Contractually, I get one hug each time. So
I did
that's just
sign the
business.
contract, so I mean that is business.
That's just business. Okay, let's talk about this because I'm not sure where this is going, and we'll get back to the whole emotional friendship thing if we have time. How long is too long for a woman to hold out on sex before it becomes a problem in a marriage?
Okay, see, I don't mind that question. The comment below that I kind of have an issue with. Because that doesn't sit well with me.
No, definitely not.
Because it is not what?
I gotta take this one. You know who it is. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. So to answer Brian's question with the how long is too long, I think that is all dependent on the people in the relationship. Like if you're sitting there having sex and you're used to having sex for like, 2 or 3 days a week and all of a sudden it goes to like once a month, there might be a bigger problem in your marriage than the fact that you're not having sex, if that makes sense. Like there could be somebody else, there might be something going on with her emotionally, physically. You don't know, but how long it becomes a problem if she's holding out and it's like because she's mad at you, I kind of consider that emotional abuse after a while because that's not okay to withhold affection from your partner because you're upset with them. So it all depends on why they're holding out, but that definitely needs to be an actual discussion before, it should be a discussion before it's a problem. Like it should be like, okay, well, it's been 2 weeks, like we haven't done anything. Like, are you okay? Are we okay? Is everything okay? Like what's going on? That's the whole part of being in an adult relationship and a marriage. As far as keeping my man like I'm not here, nobody is here to keep somebody else happy. So if I'm doing something that is not keeping somebody happy, then they can leave. Like how do I want to put this? I'm not always going to be able to make somebody happy. And if sex is the only thing that's making you happy, like no, Brian, that's fine. Like I totally I appreciate that question because it's a heavy question. There's a lot to it. It depends on the reason they're holding out. As I said, I think I know women that have held out just because they're mad at their boyfriends and or their husbands or whoever. And at that point, it's at that point it's emotional abuse. At that point, like it really is just something like you're holding affection over somebody's head that should be like that's part of your relationship as somebody that is married to you. Like that's part of marriage, and you can't just sit there and be like, I'm not giving you that because I'm mad at you. That'd be like somebody like them withholding hugs or kisses from me because they're upset with me. It's the same thing, and that's not okay. As I said, if like you're usually a 3 time a week person and they like all of a sudden they don't want nothing to do with you, it's like you definitely need to have a conversation like ASAP, because either something's medically wrong, emotionally wrong, or there's something else going on, and you better check that out. As far as being sexually satisfied, again, that's not really my, like, if I don't keep my man happy sexually, then he can go. Like, but I'm just that kind of person. Like, if you're not happy with me, you can leave. It's not my job to keep you completely 100% happy all the time. And if you're not happy, you can say something to me. And if you're still not happy, then bye. Like, go find somebody that will. Because I'm not about to be the main reason for somebody's happiness all the time, sexually or otherwise.
Danny boy, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. I like that. It's got the little horns. I like it. What happened? Oh, wait. I hit the wrong button. Hold on a minute. There we go. Sex is a big part of a relationship. Yes. I think a lot of people put a lot more emphasis on it than they should. But I mean, I've been through it before. I've been through it where it's like, why are we not having more sex or whatever? And it's kind of, it makes a guy feel insecure, I think. I mean, I know I was like, first I was thinking like, what's wrong with me? Then I'm like, well, if you're not wanting it from me, then you must be getting it from somewhere else. Like, guys think crazy shit like that, especially ones with trust issues. Like you know what I mean? I start thinking weird shit like that sometimes.
Not crazy though, because I have been in the relationship where I have been on the opposite end of that, where it's like, or like on the same end you were on, and as a female, I'm not used to being on that end of things. And as a female with, again, the emotional issues that I have as far as my body and how I feel about myself, adding that whole thing where, it just wasn't happening, or things would start up and then, not to throw out puns there, but go soft, like it was upsetting. And it was one of those things where it's like, is this a me problem? Like, do I need to go someplace? Like, what do we need to do? And me and my female friends have talked about this before with guys, and it's like, you either find other ways to do it, especially if it's like a medical issue, or you can start even talking about going outside of your relationship to get that part, because that isn't a part. You can still love somebody, but they can't produce that part because of something else.
Right.
At that point, an open relationship might be a good solution to a problem like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because you're still in love with that person, but they can't uphold that. And that's part of a healthy human life, is having the sexual aspect to it.
Sure, so, absolutely.
And then it would be kind of up to them what they want to do about it. Because I don't know, if I can't provide, if I would even be okay. Like, I'd have to find somebody that's either asexual, that isn't into that, or somebody where it's not that important to do it like once a year if I was in that position. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But it would all depend.
Yeah.
Like,
so Boodog says it's harder to type what he's saying. He hates typing. So should we invite him in for a couple minutes too?
Absolutely.
Boodog, you want to come on real quick?
All my females are gone today. Like, none of them are in here today. I have no support.
What the hell? Oh, you're outnumbered.
I'm outnumbered. So many dicks. It's a sausage fest up in here.
That's right. You're saying somebody throwing hot dogs at you?
Not quite.
The boys
yet.
are being respectable, though. I appreciate that, guys.
They are. Thank you, guys. I know.
Buddha, you want to come on or not? I know you can type yes.
Do it.
Or no. Scott said, wow. No, Scott, I didn't mean it like that. It was an earlier conversation. Silly boy. He says yes. All right.
Woo-hoo.
So I'm sending you the link right now, bro. Just click on that and jump in.
Oh, Scott, by the way, I wasn't trying to come at you with that, with you ask like if she doesn't keep her man happy thing, but as I said, like I just don't think other people's happiness should be like based on one person or one thing, or like if you're not happy, just say you aren't happy, but it's not my job to keep somebody 100% happy all the time. And if I don't feel like having sex a couple times a week, like I should be able to say no and not feel like because I need to keep my man happy or keep him home, because that's a big thing too, is like people will be like, oh, well, the reason he ran out on you was because you weren't having sex with him enough. And it's like, no, the reason he ran out on me was because he's a shitty person and didn't know how to vocalize what he needed from me. So it wasn't me coming at you. I know I came off a little bit abrasive and I didn't mean to be like that, but like I've just heard so many things as a female, like why I didn't keep my man happy and how that resulted in me ending up being penalized for it.
All right. He's ready. I think he's ready.
Woohoo, let's go.
All right, Boodog, you ready, buddy? All right. What's up, yo?
What's happening, y'all?
Listen, bro.
Much love from the West Coast over here, man.
That's right, boy. How's it going? What's up over in Oregon over there?
Oh man, I just got back from the hills with the dogs, man. I finally took the dog. You went and took my new truck up into the hills, bro. Finally, and seen what it had.
There you go.
So I had to take the dogs with me, bro. You know what it is.
I feel
And
it.
then I had to stop and get me some Chinese food on the way home, bro.
There you go. So what were you saying that? What were you saying you couldn't type?
Yeah, it's harder for me to type what I'm actually trying to think or say. I hate it. I hate typing. I hate texting. But basically, my question was the same as the question that I answered or asked. How long is too long for a woman to hold out, or a man to hold out on their significant others before it becomes a problem in their relationship? So basically, that question is, yeah, I understand there could be a medical problem or there could be a certain different problem. But from my experience, I've actually had a woman use their sexual parts as a way to get what they want in a relationship. So is it okay for a man or a woman in a relationship to be like, okay, no, you're not getting it tonight because I'm upset with you, or okay, you were out too late, so you can't get it. You came home a little too drunk, or you can't get it. Or the way of, can I order something off of Amazon? I'll give you head tonight.
Well, I think using sex as a weapon is wrong.
It is. And trust me, I'm not saying this is type of my relation. I'm just asking this question because,
right.
I do have friends. I have been with an ex who's been like that. I have friends now who are fucking, kind of hit me up like, hey, man, what should I do? This, and this. I'm like, man, you got to figure it out on yourself. That's your marriage, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really go based off of that, but I just feel that women or men, it depending on how strong the relationship is or who it is, I feel they use it as a type of weapon, as a type of control.
Sometimes. The one thing that you did say, though, you said that if the woman says to you, I'm not going to have sex with you tonight because I'm mad at you. That one I get. I get that one. As far as the Amazon thing goes, that's all that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I feel marriage, regardless or not, because you guys took a promise to each other, regardless through sick or through anything, whatever you guys took a promise. I feel sex in a marriage is a big part of a marriage. I'm not saying it's all of it. I'm not saying whatsoever that it's all of it. No, the love needs to be there. The affection, the everything, buying her, telling her she looks pretty, shit like that needs to be there also in a marriage. Trust me, I still open up doors for my wife to this day. I'll still hold a door open for her. I don't open my car door for her because we don't ever see each other to drive in the same car. But every time we go into a store or a restaurant, I'm always opening the door for her. You know, I'm always holding her hand through a restaurant, shit like that. But I have had experiences in my past where women will hold that out as a way of control. And it's not right.
I think using it as a punishment is wrong.
Yes. But men also, too. I'm not, okay, let me put
No,
a slash
women, it's
and
definitely-
men there, too. I'm not trying to just put women. I'm saying men slash whatever, whoever the dominant one in the marriage is. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wears the pants the most, for a man or a woman. And I just think that regardless or not, if you guys took a vow to fucking be with each other till the end of life, that fucking sexual part needs to be there. Something like that can't go away, because there's another woman out there or another man that's going to tell you those things that person wants to hear or feel.
I agree with you, and as I said before, it's a type of emotional abuse to a certain point. Like, I can say no at any time I want to, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, so if you came home a little bit too drunk and you're all sloppy, I probably ain't gonna listen to you. Like, whiskey dick is not fun to play with.
Oh,
like,
hell no!
But you know, but when it comes down to like, it's an all the time thing. Like, as I said, like, you're doing it 3 days a week, and then all of a sudden, like, she's like, "Nah, like, I'm mad at you," or, you know, like, so then, like, because that's also conditioning you to start to agree with her on things because you're afraid that that's going to be cut off, and if that's cut off, what else is going to get cut off?
Right. See,
you know what I mean? And you're right.
So what you just said, basically, what was exactly what I was trying to ask. What you just said, basically. It's a way of
it's a control.
That. Yeah.
And as I said, it kind of goes hand in hand, and you're right, it is something more with women, I think, than men, because again, I can go into a bar and lift up my shirt and be like, titties for everyone who wants to come home with me.
And that whole bar is going to turn around.
Right, because sex holds more power over men biologically than it does over females. So we know that. Like, that's the reason why all these men that talk about OnlyFans being stupid, and like, the reason it's not stupid is because people buy into it. And the reason people buy into it is because that's how males are programmed.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Look, OnlyFans is a way for women to feel the need that they want. Yeah, they can make money off of it. Yeah, some of them abuse the OnlyFans as a way to, you know, be out there and just show their little slutty selves. But you know what? Through this last couple years that we just went through, a lot of people had to depend on their, you know, nudity to fucking pay their goddamn bills.
Right.
I'm sorry to say. Look, my sister used to fucking bounce for a stripper back in California who my sister used to carry 2 twin fucking Desert Eagles for this girl. You know what I'm saying? Look, we've been through it all. Look, what I'm getting into is I just feel that it's a control, and a lot of women actually abuse that, or men. Like I said, I'm not trying to just put this as a woman thing, but
it's mostly a woman thing.
But I feel that a lot of times it's an abuse as a control, like you said. How'd you put it? It's an abuse of, I think you said something
power.
like that. Power, yes. But
so listen, man, I wasn't disrespecting your sister by laughing, but
no,
as soon as you started saying that, that came up. My buddy Mike said, when I show my tits at the bar, I get thrown out.
Hey, look, I'm gonna laugh at my sister because you know what? Look, the girl that my sister used to bounce for and actually walk around with 2 twin Desert Eagles, is a well-known member of our family. Like, they're not family from us, but we grew up with her for a long time. So my sister, she's been through a lot with this, and for me to actually know how this girl grew up, it's a way. It's an empowerment. It honestly is. But some women out there know how not to use it as an empowerment, or men, and it comes down as a relationship thing. I mean, I'd be damned. I'd be damned to tell Jules no, bro. You know what Jules would do to me, bro?
When you call her the wrong name, you're going to get in trouble anyways.
Well, Jules is not a wrong name to her because you gave her that name.
Well, I gave her that name, but I'm
Jules
sure.
is not a wrong name.
Listen,
if I'm
in the
hitting her
heat
from the back and I call her Jules, she knows Sticks is thinking about her. Right? That's
Right,
all that matters.
listen, in the heat of passion, if you call her Julie, you gonna get us both in trouble. Don't be doing that.
Nah, exactly. Nah, look, I love my wife to death. You know, we've been together for 9 years, and we're going strong. We've had our ups and downs. We almost been through about 6 or 7 divorces, but you know what? She hasn't fucking left my side, not one bit. Matter of fact, we got into it 2 nights ago. And you know what she told me? She said, "I ain't signing no goddamn fucking papers, and you ain't going fucking nowhere." And what can I do? I sat in my fucking recliner and looked at her dumbfounded, like, what can I do? Like,
That's
you just
right.
basically told me I'm fucking stuck forever. Like, I
That's
have
right.
to physically take myself out of this marriage if Jewel wants me to fucking go.
That's right.
And I'm not going to do it, bro. I have my own fucking house. I have my dogs. I have my weed. I have my food. I have my job. And you know what? Jules is fucking stuck behind my side through it all, bro. Through it all. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not innocent. I've been caught talking to other women. I've been caught having other women, you know, involved. I've never cheated on her, but there was a point where, you know, I was getting nudes from other women.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like your homegirl here said, it has to do with the relationship problem. So me and Stephanie actually talked about it, and we had an open relationship for pictures only because we wanted to try it out. Maybe if it made me happy, and trust me, it did. She would come home and she would show me fucking pics of dudes who fucking sit in their goddamn fucking 12-inch Peter to her goddamn phone. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. And then we kind of had an open relationship for pictures only. And that's it. And it's been going amazing.
I think that's awesome, though, because honestly, I had something kind of like that, and I would be like, dude, look at that girl. Look at her cans.
Yeah.
Isn't she hot? Like, I love looking at women with my
I'm
dude.
telling
like,
you, my wife will point out a woman before I do. There's been multiple times to where we'd be going through Costco or just driving. She'd be like, God damn, look at that ass. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, where? She's like, her right there. And I'm like, oh, shit, I missed it. She's like, well, shit, drive faster then. Pull up.
High five her, be like, good looking out, Scout.
That's what I'm saying. And I think a lot of it has to do with because of what I did. And me and her have actually sat down and we had a long ass conversation about why I was doing it, what I did. And because, you know, there was a point in our fucking time to where, like I said, we almost went through 7 divorces. There was a point to where we weren't having sex, but it bumped up our sexual life that much more. And God, I can't ask nothing else for it.
Not to speak for her either, but like in my opinion, like the reason she points people out to you now is because you made her feel comfortable with herself having that conversation. Yes. She doesn't feel like she is below these people that you're receiving pictures from because you were open and honest with her. You guys sat down and had a conversation and said, this is what it is.
Right. Well, before me and her ex-husband, she actually used to date a girl. She was with the girl for a long time. And then she ended up leaving that woman, got with her ex-husband, and then ended up leaving him and getting with me. And look, I have no family up here in Oregon. I'm from Northern California. The only person I have in Oregon is my dad. And for her family to take me in and treat me the way she did, it'd be really hard to leave her. And I know I fucked up a couple times, so I had to open up to her. I had to
Everybody does.
I had to tell her what, you know, I had to. And she felt more empowered with our relationship and our marriage because she had that freedom. She had that to let another man see what she had. And for me to be okay with it, I think it just opened up our marriage so much better. Like our sex life so much better. And
communication is huge. People don't realize how much communication goes with the sexual aspect of things when you're actually in a relationship.
Amen. And we became, you know, we made a promise to each other. As long as it doesn't go as far as pictures, then why not try it out? You know what I'm saying? And we tried it out and we fell in love with it. We fell in love with the openness of I can come home and be like, damn, I just got a fucking big ass titty pic today. And she'd be like, let me see that motherfucker. Like, did you save it? Is it in your secure folder? Like, why isn't it on your phone no more? Why?
Dude,
You better tell her to send you another one.
Yeah, right. I respect you for being upfront and honest, though. I mean,
Absolutely.
that takes a lot to do that. You know what I mean?
It really does.
Let me pause the conversation real quick.
But yeah,
I want to catch up with chat. Hi, Rosemary. I do remember you from yesterday, and it was cool to hang out with you, to talk to you and stuff. So it was great meeting you, and I'm glad you're part of the channel. Mike, we'd love to have you on. We're going to try to do this show every week if we can. Not sure the days yet, so yeah, you're more than welcome to hop in, Mike, whenever you're available. And cheating doesn't destroy relationships; it's the dishonesty surrounding it.
Most definitely. Like I said, it was so.
Yes and no, I guess. On that.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
No, it's cool, man. So one more thing, guys. If you like what you guys are seeing, the spots you can find us on are youtube.com/thatfuzzing518 show. We're doing it on facebook.com/thatfuzzing518 show. Also on Facebook, 518 Live Concerts. I believe we're streaming on there. Lana also has a YouTube channel, youtube.com/so-slow-sushi. Go check her out over there.
So, okay.
That's the right link, right?
I'm gonna follow that on YouTube also.
So Slow Sushi.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys, if you guys like what you're seeing, give us some love. Show us some love. Subscribe to those. Follow those. Like those. Tell your friends. Come hang out. We'll talk all sorts of relationship stuff. That's what we're doing now. We're trying, anyways.
Hey,
so enthused about it.
It's a good. It's a damn good show so far.
It is. Look, I love the Fuzzy 518 show, man.
I appreciate that, bro.
Look, you already know where it stands with me.
I do, man. I do. You know I love you like a brother. Hey, man, we're gonna let you go, bro. Okay.
Hey, most definitely. Like I said, I'm gonna finish eating this goddamn Chinese food. Like I said, I just hate typing. It's a little bit easier for me to speak than trying to put it out on the computer.
Hey, listen, man. But we appreciate you coming on, brother. You know I love you.
Hey, like I said, man, I appreciate you joining me. I respect your homegirl. I love you, Sticks, man. Much love, chicken grease. I'm about to go hit Squiddy, finish this goddamn food, and I'm gone, bro.
Yo, hit Squiddy big, man. I'll talk to you.
I will do, brother. I appreciate it.
Later, man.
I like him. I like his spunk.
A little West Coast love there. Oh, thanks, Rosemary. Appreciate that. Yeah, Scott, definitely. Yeah, check us out on show us some love on the Facebook and the YouTube, and there's Instagram ones out there. You'll find us all over social media, but if this thing goes well, which it looks like it's probably gonna, we might dedicate like an Instagram page to just this show, maybe a Facebook page to just this show. So it's all new. We still need to find out a name for it. So if you guys can come up with a clever name for it, that'd be sweet.
We're gonna do a poll on it, right? I don't know how to come up with Facebook polls, but so far we've got Lana and Fuzzland and the Fuzzy Sushi Show, which I think both of those are hilarious. I have so many things that come to mind, like pictures that we can get.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's just gave those names so he can drum up business for himself.
He shouldn't have to draw. He's amazing.
He is. He's an amazing artist.
Myron's amazing. Awesome. I love checking
Myron is awesome
stuff.
for sure. So what else you got? You got anything else?
Can we just talk about Amazon real quick? Completely switch up the script. Does anybody else have an issue with Amazon? I am so pissed off today.
You know what? I'm gonna actually check and see if they actually delivered it yet or not. Oh, it's running fucking late now. Of
course it is, because it's 8:30. It's probably told you to be there by 10 p.m. Didn't it? 10 p.m. at the end of the day.
Now it's tomorrow. Both of them are tomorrow now.
Put them in through tomorrow. But the thing that pisses me off is I pay for Amazon Prime every month for a fucking reason. And now, I understand COVID put them behind. I was understandable back then. But now you have all these people, they have their own Prime trucks now. And they have the warehouse in Amsterdam or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. That's what pisses me off.
So it's now everything's running behind when you have your own trucks and you have someplace local to me. Why is that happening?
I'm just trying to get rid of all these messages. That's my bad.
No, that's fine. So, do you want me to just go on my Amazon rant here
Yes,
for a minute?
I'm good, by the way. Okay,
so I'm trying to get the kids' room cleaned up because we're going to be looking for a house soon. We're going to be looking for a house soon. So I'm like, all right, so the kids are getting sick of having bunk beds. So I'm like, all right, we'll get them like the high loft beds. We'll get all their stuff cleaned up. So we found these nice beanbag chairs where you can stuff all their stuffed animals in them and you sit on them. So it's not only taking up less space than what a regular chair does because you're cleaning up everything around it, but it gives them a nice thing to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, cool. So I told them to go in, and you know how kids are. So they're fighting me every step of the way. And I'm like, go sort your stuff out. Eliza's beanbag is coming today. Athena's already came. So we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And Eliza's like super excited for this beanbag to come. And, I'm fighting them to clean their room up because it's going to be here by the end of the day. I have a time on it. It's between 2:15 and 5:15. Cool. We go over to Eliza's grandma's house. We come back. The Amazon truck is literally pulling up into my parking lot as I'm pulling in. So I park. I'm like, oh, good. Your beanbag's here, Eliza. Cody had also gotten something for the baby because, as you know, he hasn't been sleeping at night. So we got him a weighted vest thing because we learned that him having weight on his chest has been helping him sleep. Thank God. So we got in this weighted vest thing, right? So we both get the thing at the same exact time that our orders were delivered. It says they were delivered at the mail. How did they put it? The mail room. I'm like, we don't have a fucking mail room. And usually they'll put a picture up.
Right.
I'm like, all right. I said, he was just out there. Like, it has to be around here somewhere. Go out. We have a hallway. Go out in the hallway. They're not sitting there. Go outside. They're not sitting there. Go into the next apartment's hallways. They're not over there. We go all the way around the building to the office, and it's not sitting outside the office. So I'm like, all right, well, it wasn't delivered. So he gets a hold of somebody for his account. I get a hold of somebody for my account. I'm like, hey, I said it's not here. They're like, oh, well, sometimes it gets put in as delivered too soon. Wait until the end of day tomorrow. I said, I literally followed the truck into my apartment building. And they're like, well, it might not have been the right truck. I said, so it's just a coincidence that this truck pulls into my apartment building, and as it's pulling out, it says that my stuff is delivered. Because that sounds like a load of crap to me. And they're like, I assure you, it will be there by 10 o'clock tonight. We still have nothing. So Cody calls on his end. He's talking to them. The lady is talking over him. She's yelling at him, telling him that it will be there. We have to give it until 9 o'clock tomorrow. He's like, I don't have to give it until 9 o'clock tomorrow. He's like, first off, I pay for Amazon Prime for a reason. And this is day 3, and we're supposed to have 2 days on it. So you go to tomorrow, it's going to be day 4. And he was like, and it told me that it was delivered. He's like, if hers had said delivered and mine wasn't, it would have been one thing. But you're saying that we got 2 things delivered to our house on 2 different accounts, neither by the same person, and both accounts say that they were delivered to the mailroom, which we do not have. Where is our stuff?
Yeah.
So she starts, oh, sir, you have to wait until tomorrow night. He's like, I don't have to wait until tomorrow night. That's my money that's out there somewhere that I spent on a package. Like, it's got to be out there somewhere. Well, on your account, it says it's delivered, sir. Yeah, that's the point. Still don't have it.
Yeah.
So they ended up giving him $20 on top of reordering his stuff. But it's like, I don't have to wait. Like, if something says it's delivered, that's the only place. If my Grubhub order says delivered, I expect it to be outside my door. Nobody's going to tell me that I have to wait until the next day for it to be delivered. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Why would you put that it was delivered before it was? Plus, they lose stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, I know, like, ours is weird because, like, our house over here is like, there's like a 1, a 1A, and then 3, and we're 3. So they assume it's like 1, 3. So they always deliver, well, not always, but they deliver to my next door neighbor thinking that that's 3, which sucks because Obviously, it's not. So I have to walk over there and get stuff more often than not, you know,
Right.
and that blows. But at least it's getting delivered. That's the thing. At least it's getting delivered. So
Yeah, I was just like, it was just the fact that like we called them about it and they were just like, oh, you got to wait until tomorrow. And it's like, but it's saying that it's here today. And if I had, it has happened before that they've said it was delivered and it shows up the next day. But the thing is, it was delivered that was usually when it's like by FedEx or UPS. This was delivered by your truck that I pulled in behind.
yeah.
Like, and you know, somebody else in the house also had something delivered here, and both of them said that it was delivered to the mailroom. Now, where is our mailroom? Because I need to figure this out, because now we both, and you know, now the kids are like, oh, well, we didn't have to clean our room today because why? So now you just had my kids one up me. So now I'm even more angry because now they think they were right about everything because they're 6 and they're 9 and they're annoying.
Amazon got your kids so mad that one punched the other in the nose, and now their nose is bleeding. Thanks, Amazon, you bunch of dicks.
Bag of dicks.
That's right.
Start handing out the candies to people and just have it be like those butthole candies.
F
Here,
Amazon. I've returned stuff without a problem. Their way of doing it, I think, is kind of cool. You initiate the return process and you return it right to the UPS store. You don't have to pack, you don't have to repackage it, rebox it, nothing. Just bring the item to the UPS store, hand it to them, they give you a receipt, done. I like that a lot. That's a good way of doing it.
I liked what they did during COVID. They would actually bring a box to your door with the mail-in thing. You put it in the box and you'd leave it outside, and UPS would just pick it up and take it away.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never had that happen.
There was a couple of things that I had to return. Usually they're really good with returns and stuff like that. And like, yep, Kohl's, you can return them to Kohl's too. Yeah. There's a couple of different places you can return it to. Yeah, like usually I've had no problems. Like we had ordered pillows and like it said that the pillows had been delivered and we never got them. And then they were just like, oh, okay, well, we'll put in another order. If you get the pillows, just, you know, the other pillows, keep them. Well, we got the other pillows like a month and a half later. I don't know what kind of adventure those pillows went on because they were gone for a while, but you know, then we got extra pillows, which was nice.
Yeah, right.
So, well, I think this was a successful episode.
I think so too. I just switched the other side of the room. Sorry, it's better view. Okay. Better view in this desk.
Nicer skyline.
Well, the other desk is right over there. Then there's the west side desk. East side desk is that way. I mean,
my checking account
east side desk is the west side, east side, south. This one's the north end. I got confused. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, checking account got hacked by Amazon. Secure network my balls. I've never had. Okay, so I've never actually been hacked through Amazon. I did, however, and this is a good warning for people. I had to call Amazon about something one time. So I Googled the Amazon number, called it. Somebody picked up. They ran me around in circles, okay? And I did something really, really stupid. Like, something was telling me in my head, like, this is not a legit thing. Like, don't do this. You're dumb. This doesn't make sense. Don't do it. And I fucking did it anyways. Because why would I not? So I did it anyways, and I kept getting a thing while I was on the phone that there was fraudulent activity on my card. They were blocking it. And the guy was like, well, send me a screenshot of your phone. So I did, and he was like, I got to go talk to my manager, and he hung up on me. And then I knew that I had been scammed. So what had happened is people pay Google to have their numbers put at the top of the listings when you Google things.
That's fucked up.
So I thought I was calling a legitimate Amazon number, and I wasn't. So I called Amazon right away and explained the situation. She's like, ma'am, she's like, Amazon will never call you for anything. They will email you and let you know something's wrong with your order. They will email you for anything, or they'll get a hold of you through the official Amazon website.
Yeah.
She's like, we will not call you for anything. She's like, that's the first thing. She's like, before we do anything, you need to call your bank right now and tell them that you want your cards changed, because they had me download something onto my phone so they could access my account, so they could see everything that was going on my phone. So she's like, you need to cancel all your cards.
Oh, that's crazy.
She's like, and you need to. I had to change all of my passwords and
I was going to
everything
say,
else.
yeah, your passwords too. Shit.
So it turned into this whole big thing. Don't be sorry, I was dumb. Like, as I said, the whole time I'm sitting there, like, my brain is telling me, like, this is stupid. Stop this conversation now. None of this is making sense. Like, the thing he was having me go through to get the information was stupid. But I was like, I Googled it, clicked on the Amazon thing, and called right through. Then the funny thing is, when I pulled my phone away, the number that I had called was not the actual number. Like, I had put in the number, I clicked on the number through Google.
Right.
And when it called through, it turned to a different number. It was like a 716 number instead of an 866 number.
No shit.
So nothing added up. And I was just like, so now I tell everybody that story that uses Amazon, because somebody was like, yeah, Amazon called me the other day and told me that I had fraudulent charges. I said, nope. I said, do not call that number back. Do not call them. Your bank will get a hold of you with fraudulent charges. Amazon
That's crazy.
will not. Yeah, it was fucked up. But
so to end off on a good note, I see Ralph was commenting. I got to spend the day with Ralph yesterday at Gem Fest. That was a lot of fun.
so what was that? Can you explain what Gem Fest is to me?
Gem Fest it was an outdoor festival at the Shirt Factory in Glens Falls. The Shirt Factory, it's an old shirt factory that they've turned into almost like a mini mall.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. Inside's cool because it's got that old time feel. It's even got that old time smell. It's not bad. It just smells like
musty,
that. Yeah, the old there's been some miles on that building.
There's history in that building.
They have really cool shops in there and stuff. Well, Gem Fest they were holding it there. They had 2 stages, 20 live bands, and a bunch of vendors and food trucks and stuff. It was a great time. There was a lot of vendors there. The bands were amazing. We were up there shaking babies and kissing hands, so it was nice. Got to meet a lot of cool people, and just had a great day yesterday. It was hot. Drank a lot of water, and it was just a fun time. Really fun time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
It was very hot, though. It was so humid outside. Like, I thought of you as soon as I stepped out the door for the first time during the day. I was like, oh, Fuzzy's got to be feeling it today.
Yeah, I was feeling it. I was feeling it big time. But, it was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm happy you had fun. It does sound like a lot of fun. I'm going to have to come to one of those things one of these days.
Yeah, hell yes. Come sit in the booth with us.
Absolutely.
Hang out and show some love.
What's the next thing you guys got coming up?
I don't know yet. I'll have to look into it. Boat shows. There's a lot of boat shows going on. A lot of live shows, a lot of live music.
Well, if you guys get anything set up, let me know, and I'll get Fuzzy Jr. his Fuzzin' 518 onesie.
Yeah, man.
Him and I will head out for the day.
I'm vaping on some Skittles, Scott. Yeah, Rosemary, it was definitely a good time for sure. She was there. She hung out. She had VIP status yesterday. She was hanging out in the booth with us for sure.
Ooh.
It was fun. So we're gonna end on that note, guys. Like I said, if you guys like what you see, we're gonna try to do this once a week. Not sure on the days yet. We're still trying to figure out scheduling and stuff like that, how it's all gonna work. But
I'm thinking Friday next week, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, I got a boat show Friday.
I lied. Don't
Boat
everybody erase that.
We'll figure it out. We'll definitely announce it. YouTube.com/thatfuzzing518 show, Facebook.com /thatfuzzing518 show, Insta and TikTok at thatfuzzing518 show, YouTube.com/so slow sushi. I always like tongue tied, so I gotta say it slow. I think we might start off a Facebook page also for our little show. We need to still find a name for it. So if you guys have any suggestions, shoot us a PM, or I don't know, tune in next time we do this and shout out the name. Deuces to you, my brother. Oh, the Barbecue Blues Fest is at Lake George. That's a good one too. Hell yeah, man. But yeah, no, this was great. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we decided to do this. We'll do it again next week sometime.
All right. Sounds good to me.
For sure. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week sometime. Tune into the channels and show us love. Subscribe, like, share, follow, etc., etc. Lana, my dear, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Take care, guys.